based on real events. Amanda had been looking for work for months. Bills piled up on her kitchen counter, and each night she went to sleep wondering how she'd keep the lights on another week. So when she saw the newspaper ad, vacancy, nurse needed immediately, competitive pay, housing included, it felt like a sign. She dialed the number right away. The voice on the other end was strangely calm, almost emotionless. They gave her the address, told her to arrive by 9 a.m., and assured her that the position was hers if she showed up. No interview, no questions about her background. That night, Amanda couldn't shake off a gnawing unease. Something about the way the voice spoke had chilled her, but she told herself it was only nerves. She needed this job. The next morning, she packed her things and set off to the address given, an isolated estate miles outside the city. As her bus rolled through winding country roads, she noticed how quickly civilization faded away. The streets turned into dirt paths, lined with dense trees that blocked out the sky. When she finally stepped off the bus, Amanda saw the building in the distance. It wasn't a hospital. It wasn't even a clinic. It was an old mansion, its windows dark, its walls cracked, standing alone in silence. And yet, the front door stood wide open, as if waiting for her. Amanda took a deep breath and stepped inside the mansion. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of mildew, and something metallic. Blood, perhaps. Her shoes creaked against the wooden floor, echoing far too loudly in the vast, empty hall. "Hello?" she called out. No answer. Only the faint hum of old electricity running through the walls. A moment later, a tall woman in a nurse's uniform appeared from the shadows of the corridor. Her uniform was spotless, but her face was pale, her eyes hollow. She smiled too widely. "You must be Amanda. We've been waiting for you." The word "we" made Amanda's stomach twist. She wanted to ask where the patients were, where the doctor was. But the woman was already gesturing for her to follow. They walked down a dim hallway lined with old photographs. Amanda glanced at one. It showed nurses and patients, but their faces were blurred, as if the picture itself had tried to erase them. Finally, they reached a door. The nurse opened it slowly. Inside was a room with 6 hospital beds. On each bed lay a figure covered with a white sheet. Amanda froze. Are they dead?" The nurse smiled again. "Not yet. That's your job, to take care of them." As Amanda hesitated, one of the sheets began to move. Something underneath twitched, limbs jerking unnaturally. Another bed followed, then another. The figures beneath the sheets weren't still. They were writhing, clawing, struggling to rise. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. She realized then, she hadn't been hired to heal anyone. She had been lured into something far more terrifying. And the door behind her clicked shut. Amanda's heart pounded as the door slammed shut behind her. She spun around, pulling at the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The pale nurse stood on the other side of, "You can't leave," the woman whispered. "You." The beds creaked as the figures rose, sheets sliding to the floor. Amanda's eyes widened. They weren't patients at all. Their skin was gray, stretched tight over bone, their mouths sewn shut with thick black thread. Their eyes were empty sockets, Yet they saw her. The creatures staggered forward, their movements jerky, as though some invisible puppeteer forced them to life. The air filled with the sound of their muffled moans. Amanda backed away until her back hit the cold wall. "What do you want from me?" she screeched. The nurse's voice drifted through the glass. The creatures reached for Amanda with bony, trembling hands. She grabbed a rusted tray from beside one of the beds and swung it, the clang echoing through the room. One of the things fell, but the others closed in. In the chaos, Amanda spotted another door at the far end of the ward. She sprinted for it, her breath ragged, her hands shaking. The handle turned, unlocked. She threw it open and stumbled into darkness. The last thing she saw before the door slammed shut behind her was the nurse's face, pressed against the glass, whispering with that terrible smile, "No one ever leaves." Inside the darkness, Amanda felt hands, dozens of cold, unseen hands, dragging her deeper. She didn't even have time to scream. The next morning, the newspaper carried the same ad again. Vacancy. Nurse needed immediately. Competitive pay. Housing included. Dear subscribers, leave your thoughts about this story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to us. Good luck.